Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video guide for Ark Survival Evolved. In this video, folks, I'm going to show you how to tame a Therizinosaurus. For this, we are going to be using a pitfall trap. It is very similar to the one I showed off in the Rex video. That is the simplest and most effective design that I use for many hostile creatures. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this you can find down below in the video description as well as in a pinned comment from myself. So why do you want a Therizinosaurus? Well, in terms of fighting capability, it is on par with the Rex. It does dish out a lot of damage. It is very scary, but also it does have an additional use. It is amazing at gathering wood as well as fiber and rare mushrooms. So it is one of those creatures that has a dual purpose. Also, it does have a decent carry weight and decent HP, and if you breed them for stats, they can become very powerful. The only downside to it is that it is a herbivore, and so therefore, unlike carnivores, it does require a bit more help or time to heal when it does take damage. You can use the veggie cakes, but that also requires you to have some rarer resources. In order to ride this, you will need to craft the saddle, which you can craft at level 69, as you can see here. These are the resources that you will need to craft a saddle for it. And this is a herbivore, which is hostile if you get within its aggro range. It is also quite dangerous, so do bear that in mind. There is my target right there, a 150 Therizinosaurus. And I think down there we have a human, so that guy's gonna complicate the situation. First things first, before you even start setting up the trap or trying to tame it, make sure the area is clear. Also, with regards to taming it, make sure you have the appropriate amount of ammunition and narcotics. To do this, I strongly recommend using Dododex. It is an application that you can find both for iOS as well as Android, and it is basically your best friend for Ark. It will tell you anything and everything with regards to taming any creature in the game. For the purposes of this video and the server, and to keep things as short as possible so I can kind of get these videos out, I do use mods. So I haven't got any narcotics with me because I will be using the Tame XL mod to starve it. Also, I recommend for high level dinos using the starving method so that you get the maximum taming effectiveness, as well as to not risk losing kibbles. So what can happen is, once you have trapped and knocked out the creature, something hostile, not necessarily with the intention, may end up hitting your tame, and per hit, per tame, or on your tame, you will lose taming effectiveness. That means you will lose levels, which means it will lose out on stats. If you are like me and want the best taming effectiveness, then starving your knocked out dino is the best taming method, and this is where Dododex comes in handy. So as you saw there, same thing as with the Rex trap, a 2x2 foundation. Then we go in a U-shaped pattern with 2 walls high all the way around. Leave one opening at which we will place a stone dinosaur gateway and a gate. With this case, you do want to have a gate placed because it can get through the gateway, unlike the Rex, which couldn't. On the outside of the trap, you want to place 2 ramps going down. These ramps are to help the Therizinosaurus into the trap, and this is of course a pitfall trap, in which once the Therizinosaurus has fallen in, it cannot get back out. Unlike the T-Rex, the trap is actually larger than the hitbox of the Therizinosaur, so therefore this should be a fairly straightforward and easy kiting. This stupid NPC seems to have found its way back up here, and it wants to do something to me, but it doesn't know what to do. Normally these things are supposed to be hostile. They're not very smart, so I'm just going to kind of take care of it, and then we will start the taming process. Obviously, the human NPCs on my server are hostile to pretty much anything and everything, and so we don't want this NPC complicating the situation. So on that note, I do recommend that you clear out the area, make sure it's clear of any hostiles before you start trying to tame it. It's not a big problem when you're kiting it unless it aggroes on it, but the problem is when it's been knocked out. You do not want your tame being hit and losing taming effectiveness. As you can see there, it just walked itself into the pitfall trap. Also do bear in mind, it does also a lot of damage and applies some torpor. It'll most likely kill your tame before it knocks it out though, so do bear that in mind. Once it's in the trap, just find a safe position and start darting it up with arrows. Of course that means trank arrows or the darts. It's up to you which method you use. I personally prefer combining the two because the long neck rifle and the darts apply instant torpor and do very little damage, whereas the trank arrows apply probably less torpor but do more damage. However, the trank arrows do apply torpor over time after they have hit the target. So with that in mind, my aim is to knock out the creature with as much HP remaining as possible, and so therefore that is why I combine them. I always try and finish off with the trank arrows, as once it's gone down, the arrows will still be applying torpor to the creature. In terms of kibble, the Therizinosaurus likes the exceptional kibble, and in order to ride it you will need a saddle, which you can unlock and craft at level 69. In terms of taming, whilst the Therizinosaurus is of course a herbivore, it does prefer, as I said, the exceptional kibble. However, if you do not have the exceptional kibble, you can also use mejoberries, which are probably the worst thing to use. I would recommend using vegetables, as you will get the Therizinosaurus to tame faster. If you're going to use vegetables or berries, do bear in mind that you will be there for a very long time, so do cater for that in terms of the amount of narcotics that you have. As I said, I recommend using Dodo Decks, as that will tell you everything you need to know based on what resources you have available to you. And Dodo Decks of course has a taming calculator where you introduce the information relevant to your specific setting, and it will tell you how long it will take to tame. As with any and all high-level tames, you want to use the starve method so that you do not waste your kibble or berries. And of course, if you are like me and you want the highest taming effectiveness, either for breeding or for whatever reason, you want to make sure you starve that out before that. Now, of course, I am going to be using the Tame XL to starve it out instantly, and in order to access the Therizinosaurus inventory, you will not be able to do that from outside the trap. Although its body looks like it's outside, you have to go inside the trap and tickle its toes to access its inventory. And so once you've opened up its inventory, just place the food or kibble in its inventory, wait for it to eat, and before you know it, it will be up and ready to be your friend. Once you have finished, if the Therizinosaurus spawned in a location where it does not spawn commonly, just remove the trap. Try and keep the surface clean, as obviously foundations will affect the spawn rates of creatures and structures. So I always like to encourage to clean up after yourself and keep the server clean. And of course, by picking up your pieces and demolishing the trap, you do get back some of the resources, which will allow you to craft at least half a trap to use at a later time. Obviously, if you are going to be reusing the trap over and over again, then leave it there, especially if it is in an area where, say, Rexes or Therizinosaurs or a specific creature that you are after tends to commonly spawn. The Therizinosaurus, in my opinion, is one of those must-have creatures, as it has a dual role. You can use it as a battle mount because it can double up as a battle mount. The only problem with it would really be how quickly you can heal it, but if you do have a dead on, you can bypass that, and it is an amazing harvester in terms of wood, fiber, thatch, rare mushrooms, and rare flowers. So definitely a creature to have. That is it from me for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.